What up, folks? It's your boy the Hater Pin this piece, and I wanted to do a video about the plane ride from hell because that's been all over the news, motherfuckers. The general consensus is that Ric Flair is gonna get canceled, and in some ways has gotten canceled as a result of what that documentary revealed. Now, before I start talking about it, I just want to preface this by saying that I don't believe in any kind of canceling for any kind of expression unless that expression is a crime, motherfucks. Despite this, I'm not saying that Ric Flair should be canceled because this did happen a long time ago, and if anything, he should have been canceled back then. If not canceled back then, he should have gone to prison back then. The fact that celebrities continue to do fucked up shit and pay no consequences, whereas if me or you did that shit, we would be sitting in prison, makes me sick. I don't care if the celebrity is someone that I like, motherfucks. It makes me sick because it's not just. All right? Now, in criminal law, there's a concept called the statute of limitations, motherfucks. That means that you have only a certain amount of time to bring your case forward, to be prosecuted for something you've done, right? The legal rationale behind this is quite simple. As time goes on, the recollection of the details becomes hazier and hazier. And thus, we cannot reliably say whether someone did something or did not do something, right? The only crime that doesn't have a statute of limitations is murder, because we are willing to make some lapses in judgment and jump around and say, okay, even though the details might be hazy, it's a murder. It's a serious crime. Someone's dead. So we got to do what we got to do, right? Other crimes, like with rape, in a lot of jurisdictions, it's 15 years. So with something like this, it's probably also around 15 years. Not saying this was rape, but I'm just saying what the statute of limitations would be for sexual assault, right? So as a result of that, Ric Flair cannot go to prison for this. And as a result of that, we cannot convict him. And as a result of him, therefore, being innocent, quote unquote, we should not cancel him, right? He didn't get his day in court. Maybe if he went to court, he could have said, like, none of this happened. Here's proof that it didn't happen, right? We don't know. So we have to presume innocence until guilt. That's why Ric Flair shouldn't be canceled. Not because, oh, it happened 20 years ago. If you believe this happened, right, you should like Ric Flair less, motherfucks. If you found out about this, like I did, for example, from this documentary, you should like Ric Flair less. He did something fucking horrible. For some reason, the internet wrestling community, which is also frequented by a lot of my personal friends, they have this weird attitude that because it happened so long ago, Ric Flair should not be judged for it. No, motherfuckers. On a moral and human level, I judge him for this. He made someone uncomfortable, and he didn't just do it by doing some innocuous behavior. He pulled out his cack and made it do the helicopter, like a P.D. Pablo song. See what I'm saying? That's the problem here. The problem here is that the flight attendant is there to do job one. And Ric Flair puts her in a position where she is now forced to look at his naked penis and is forced to touch him all over. I don't know if she touched his cock. It wasn't very clear from the documentary. She doesn't deserve that, motherfucks. She's a human being. And whether it happened 20 minutes ago or 20 years ago, it's still fucked up. Canceling aside, the morals of this should be very clear. I do not understand how anyone can defend this if we assume this to be the case. Oh, boys will be boys. No, motherfucks. No. Boys will be boys is an acceptable excuse when a group of men do man shit amongst themselves. Boys will be boys does not excuse men, let's say, hitting women, or men raping women. No. Or men flashing themselves to women. That's not boys will be boys. All right? First of all, Ric Flair doing that is fucking creepy and weird. That's the first thing that needs to be addressed. All right? For some reason, the WWE wrestlers thought it was funny for Ric Flair to pull out his dick and spin it around. I find no humor in this whatsoever. I think it's fucking weird. And I think that anyone of the wrestlers that enjoyed that is gay. That's the only way I can see someone enjoying it. It's like if you're gay or if you're a woman and you find it sexually arousing. Because I don't see any humor in Ric Flair pulling out his dick. What's funny about that? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just an old man pulling out his dick. He's an old man pulling out his cock. That's not humor. But anyways, let's say people did find it funny, because humor is subjective. That doesn't mean that this is behavior that should leave the place where it's found funny by everyone, right? This is something that the average person, the reasonable person, would deem offensive. Like, if Ric Flair, I was at the mall, and Ric Flair was there and pulled his cock out, I'd be like, oh, that's weird, you know, that's just an old man who's pulling his cock out, right? And if he does Ric Flair moves, then maybe I'll laugh just because it's Ric Flair, you know? But that's it. Like, I'm not gonna go after him, I'm not gonna like, but if I'm there with like my daughter or something, if I had a daughter, I'd be like, put your dick back in your pants, old man. I don't give a shit if he beats my ass. That's what I'd say. You know what I'm saying? No. You don't get to just do whatever the fuck you want. There's other people here. And the difference between my mall example that I just gave and the plane is that fundamentally, I can just leave the mall. I don't have to stay there and be exposed to Ric Flair's penis. This woman, not only was she cornered, but even if she wasn't cornered, she's on an airplane. And in this airplane, motherfuckers, she can't leave the airplane. So it's very predatory behavior. It's like if you put a mouse in a cage with a rat, the rat is gonna eat the mouse after he fucks with it a little bit because he understands the mouse ain't going anywhere on an instinctual level. He gets it. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what it reminded me of. Now, should WWE cancel Ric Flair? I don't think they should for the reasons that I just stated. Canceling is something that you should almost never do. And even in situations where it's an accused crime, the crime needs to be proven first, motherfuckers. And you can only do so in a court of law. Or, like, if there's some sort of weird evidence that nobody saw. The fact that WWE gave Ric Flair a pass is fucking disgusting, in my opinion. And it explains a lot about that locker room, right? Where all these accusations were coming out left and right. Can't be doing this, motherfuckers. Can't be doing this. Kurt Hennig got fired for starting a brawl and cutting off Michael Hayes' ponytail. That's not good. Can't be starting brawls up in the sky, motherfuckers. The main reason why I want to talk about this was because there seems to be some sort of division amongst wrestling fans. There are like, and I guess as is typical, do not fit, I should say, or do not fill any one of those boxes, right? I don't fit in either the woke box, which is like, I can't watch another wrestling match ever again because wrestlers are toxic men. I don't fit in that box, that's for sure. I also don't fit in the apologist, pussy-ass box that says, oh, it's okay, Ric Flair just did something, it's okay if he does it, he's Ric Flair. No, motherfuckers. It's not okay. It's not okay for him to do it. I am somewhere in the middle, right? Now, before people start saying, oh, you're getting woke, all this other stupid shit, here's how it is, motherfuckers. In this world, there is right and there is wrong. Now, you can dismiss wrong actions, like a bitch, and be like, well, you know, Ric Flair, he didn't really mean it. You know, he's not, like, it was a different time. It wasn't, but you could say that. It was a different time, you know, he was just trying to be funny. You know, all these other things. You can say a lot of these other things, but they're not correct. He was being a piece of shit. Now, if he's drunk and needs help, different story. Maybe we give him a pass. But the fact that he's willing to just expose himself to a woman and people are willing to defend him 20 years later, like, oh, he didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he did, motherfucks. He did something wrong. And what should have happened was a cop should have been waiting for Ric Flair as he got out of the plane, arrested his ass for indecent exposure and sexual harassment, and he should have gone to court for it. Now, brings me to the last part of this tale, motherfucks. The stewardess got a settlement, right? She signed and agreed to a settlement. Now, I'm not saying that this validates Ric Flair, nor am I saying that this makes it so Ric Flair is not culpable or that he should not be indicted. But it de facto does exactly that. Because if she's not allowed to testify against Ric Flair in any capacity, right? She's not going to testify against him in criminal court, which means he will not be punished and will not be prosecuted. Maybe that's why he wasn't prosecuted. That doesn't mean that on a moral level, he did something good or something bad. I will say, some of my friends who are more smarky than others, they're saying things like, that's why I don't watch WWE. The toxic masculinity. Like, shut the fuck up. That's stupid too. You know what I'm saying? No. What Ric Flair does on screen and what he does in his personal life are two different things. This is a weird intersection where he did this while at work, motherfucks. This is while he's on the clock, if you will, right? He is the WWE's responsibility at this point. WWE should have done well by the people that Ric Flair harassed. Maybe they did. I don't know. They didn't talk about the details of the settlement. That's probably part of the settlement. The point I'm trying to make is that I do not like how a lot of fans are just completely diminishing the acts of Ric Flair and Scott Hall and other people. Like, they're acting as if the normal thing is for them to do these things and everyone should just be okay with it. No. Don't be a bitch. Don't be okay with these kind of things. Like, imagine if they happened to you. Imagine if Ric Flair suggestively pulled out his jack and started swinging it in front of you. Would you be okay with that? Would you just stand there like a bitch and be like, well, that's Ric Flair. He's in character. He's this, he's that. No, you wouldn't, motherfucks. No, you wouldn't. Just like my friends who I said this to were like, well, I don't know. They got caught. They got caught because they were like, I'd laugh if I was there, my friend said. I'm like, what if he corners you, spinning his cock around, and he's bigger and stronger than you? Then what are you going to do? Are you going to be okay with it? Are you going to punch him in the face? I'd punch him in the face. I'd be like, who the fuck do you think you're pulling your dick out in front of? Yeah, he'd beat my ass most likely. I mean, I don't know, because he was an old man, right? But I'm not going to just take it, right? And this woman shouldn't have to take it either. She responded differently. She couldn't fight because she's at that point, a young woman, you know, who's much, much smaller than Ric Flair. And she was already scared of all the other wrestlers. So this idea that Ric Flair's supposed to just do this and we're just supposed to be okay with it is not cool, motherfucks. I don't like Ric Flair as much as I did anymore. You know? Now, I don't know if this is true, right? Ric Flair, I think it said in the documentary, he's denied all this shit. So if it's not true, then fuck this bitch, right? But if it is true, then fuck Ric Flair. Simple as that, cucks. That's what I gotta say about that, pin this bitch.